Hello. Today I want to share with you how I memorized Psalm 92 in 1 week. I first began by reading the entire chapter, and then I found something in that chapter that I could use for a file. All right, so I want to share with you how I did this. Remember, with the file, we put silly little pictures in places, and we have sequence and order, of course. And here we go with mine. So for verse 1, it is good to give thanks to the Lord. So that's my verse 1 here. I'm using the fat part of the tail of the ox. That's where that verse is. It is good to give thanks to the Lord and to sing praises to your name, O Most High. Well, this is my it, that little thing right there. And I remember some little character on a TV show. He was Harry, and his name was It. They called him It. So that's my little it ball, kind of a hairy ball, and it is sitting on the top of a Mr. Good bar. The candy bar, Mr. Good bar. That reminds me of good. So it is good to do what? To give thanks. So there's some hands right here, kind of a, in a thanking position. It is good to give thanks to the Lord. And then it is singing praises to God. So this is kind of like one of those voice bubbles. And inside the bubble, there are music symbols. They don't really look like music symbols here, but they're my music symbols. And that reminds me of singing. And then these are hands lifting up in praise. It is good. So it is good to give thanks to the Lord and to sing la 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 praises to your name, O Most High. That's verse 1. So verse 2. To declare your loving kindness in the morning and your faithfulness at night. So to declare, these two little things here, this is my verse 2, and this is the middle part of the tail of the ox, so you're just using that for verse 2. These two things here, they're clarinets, because the verse says to declare. So declare is kind of a hard word to find, so I thought clarinets remind me of clarinets. And there's two of them. So to declare your loving kindness, there's a heart. So the clarinets are kind of serenading the heart. To declare your loving kindness in the morning. And that's just a sun or circle with some rays shooting from it. And that reminds me of morning. To declare your loving kindness in the morning and your faithfulness at night. Well, this little stick person here, her name is Faith. I know a lady's named Faith. And Faith is standing on a crescent moon. And that is to remind me of, and your faithfulness by night. So there you go at verse number 2. Then we're moving up the ox. Remember, there's order, so we're going from left to right. So verse number 3 here. And it says, with the 10-string lute and with the harp, with resounding music upon the lyre. Well, I had to go look up what is a lute. And it's a 10-string instrument. And there were several ones I could choose from, so I kind of chose one that looks like a big guitar with 10 strings on it. So that's the lute. And the harp, we know what a harp looks like. And the harp and the lute, they're kind of together. They're like dancing. So with the 10-string lute and with the harp, with the resounding music upon the lyre. So this is a lyre here. I had to look that up too. What does that look like? So I drew a picture of a lyre. And then the little dashes here coming out, it just reminds me of the resounding music upon the lyre. We will do 4 next. So we're on the back part again of the ox. So we're moving to the right yet. And you see here these 4 little lambs or little ewe lambs, U-E-W-E. So there's 4 of them because it says for you. So for you, Lord, and the Lord is I just put a big capital L in a canister. I call it a canister because when I grew up we used to use something called lard, L-A-R-D, and it came in a kind of a canister. So I just make a canister and put the capital L on it for Lord. For you, Lord, have made me glad And you see this little stick figure here? That's the little person, but the arms are really high because they are so excited. He's made you, Lord, have made me glad by what you have done. So here, there's a teensy weensy little hand, and it's kind of waving like, bye, by what you, and there's another little you here, by what you have done. I will sing for joy. So you see an I here, so that's my I. It reminds me of I. I will sing, and so the I has that little word bubble coming from it again, like in another one before. And in there I put la la la. The bubble reminds me of singing, and the joy is, you probably can't see, I put 4 joys there. Show you that. Joy, 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 joy. That's 4 joys. I will sing for joy at, and sometimes I would forget, is it at or by or in? But it's at, so I put a little X to remind me of at the work of your hands, work of your hands. So this hand has a hammer, and that just kind of reminds me of the work of your hands. Go to verse 5. How great are your works, O Lord. Verse 5, I'm using the left horn, the part of the horn here, and it says how great. So what this is a bunch of grapes hanging from that horn. And that reminds me of great. So how great are your works, O Lord, and the hammer, and another canister with the big L in it. So maybe the hammer is hammering the big canister. Your thoughts are very deep. This is a deep freeze. Put a question mark in it because it's like remind me of thoughts, you know, could be like a light bulb could have been in it as well. Your thoughts are very deep. Verse 6, we're using the other part of the horn, this the right horn there, and this is my verse 6. And it says, a senseless man has no knowledge. Well, I made a stick figure, and he's standing on the horn. So the stick figure, if you see, has kind of a big head, and in the head I put a cent sign, you know, like 1 cent, 2 cents, 20 cents, 15 cents, the cent sign. So I put that in his head, and that reminds me of senseless. So the senseless man has no knowledge. Well, he is holding on to a diploma, but I put a big X on that diploma because he doesn't have knowledge, nor does a stupid man understand this. So this is my stupid man, and in his big bubble head, I just put a big old S that reminds me of stupid. And he has no understanding. So you see his arms are kind of like, I don't know. So the stupid man, nor does the stupid man understand this. So understand what? What they didn't know in verse 6 was that when the wicked sprouted up like grass. So you see grass, I got grass sprouting up, and there's this wicked person right here sprouting up like grass. He has on a hat. The hat reminds me of that. So that when the wicked sprouted up like grass, and all who did iniquity flourished. So this is I got a little and sign, then all. So the all for me is, you remember the all dish detergent or clothing detergent, all. And so there's a box of all detergent, and it's kind of being poured out on this owl. Owls always remind me of who. Because they go, who. But, so all who did iniquity flourished. So iniquity at this point is like, hey, I just put it in here in the grass. It reminds me of iniquity. And then I put a $sign underneath the owls, the who, all who do iniquity flourish. So the $sign remind me of flourishing. So all of this was happening, but it was only that they might be destroyed forever. Well, remember the little it I used over here? So it shows up again. So there's my little it. So it was only that, and this little it has a hat. It was only that they would be destroyed forever. And all I did was a D. I made the letter D, and I put a big X in it because they would be destroyed forevermore. And we're going to finish up this first video with verse number 8. So I came over here on the other side of the face, and this is where verse 8 is. And it says, but you, O Lord, are on high forever. but you, O Lord. So here I have a cigarette butt on top of this art piece. So this is a big art piece, and the capital L now is in this artwork. So, but you, O Lord, art, that reminds me, art on high forever. And you see it's on a pedestal, kind of like on this little pedestal thing. I have an arrow going up just to remind me of high going up. But you, O Lord, art on high forever. So that's the first 8 verses. And in part 2, I will do the other verses and then share with you an insight that I received from Psalm 92. All right, thanks so much for listening in, and may God bless you. Have a good day, and Lord's will, see you next time for part 2. To God be the glory. Bye.